I'm just going to walk up the hill and have a look at some bamboo. It's doing something interesting. And the next time to see it doing this interesting thing will be 80 to 100 years from now. I don't think we're going to see it again in our lifetime. Even children will not see it doing this again. But it's not that spectacular. In here I have a small clump of black bamboo. I have 3 clumps on the property. I think it's from Henan in China originally, and many people love it for its black stems. And they will try to acquire it. And once they have acquired it, they feed it and water it because they love the beauty of the stems. Unfortunately, if you feed it and water it, it's soon very happy and starts to run and spread. And after a few years, it's lifting the pavements around your driveway. It's under the neighbor's fence, and it's a problem. Anyway, here is a clump that's been here for 30 years. It's surrounded by trees, and with all that competition, it hasn't gone anywhere. I have 3 clumps like that. If you go to Melbourne Botanic Gardens, you can see a section that is actually larger. All the small stuff's pruned out, beautifully maintained, large columns of black bamboo, and it looks like a magic forest, like some movie. And that's what people want. But that takes a man's work, I think, in those gardens, just to maintain that bamboo. Maybe he does some other work, but I think it takes a lot of work. Anyway, this plant flowered 2 or 3 months ago, and it is bearing seed now. And I don't know much about it. I really should. I don't talk to great God Google. I have books, but the folklore is that bamboo lives for 80 to 100 years, and then it flowers, then it seeds, and then it dies. And that's the bamboo, not just here and there, but everywhere on that continent. So in China, it all dies. And then there's no bamboo until those seedlings come up and grow. And that's one reason why pandas are so rare. Of course, there may be other bamboos that haven't seeded that season and haven't died. I don't know. But this one is not likely. This one is going to die, probably. And all of mine are seeding at the same time. And I have asked a few friends, and yes, theirs are seeding too. If we don't save the seed, we may not have any black bamboo, so I have saved it. And this is in the genus Phyllostachys. I have another Phyllostachys, not black, and there is a golden yellow one, and then there is a tiger one, striped. My large one, and I don't know what species it is also seeding this season. It may be that the whole genus of Phyllostachys are seeding and they're all going to die. I don't know. But I'm going to try to grow some little ones myself. And I hope that the pandas are going to be all right. Maybe we need to genetically alter the pandas so they can eat something else as well, like gum trees. I don't know. Anyway, that's black bamboo. Next opportunity to get seed should be 80 to 100 years from now. This is a windbreak against the northwest winds, which are the winds that come before a southwest change. When we first moved here, there was nothing here. Our roof moved, our house moved, a brick blew off the chimney one night. So I put in a windbreak here. Much of the windbreak is not here anymore because the first row of the windbreak were large, fast-growing trees. Pinus radiata, black wattle, and they were 2 meters out from the row you can see. And one last tree just came out down the end, and it's a big cypress tree. It was 60 feet high. It was a little close to the fence and a little close to a neighbor. It could have posed a danger, so I've taken it out. When I put them in, I knew they would grow quickly and protect this land. But then inside there, I planted things that I'd rather have 20 and 30 and 40 years later, which are carob beans, macadamia beans, feijoas, and inside that row, I've planted Chinese quince, this one's not doing very well, it's too crowded now, and black bamboo and other things of use. These things here would not grow in that wind and in that sun and in that exposure in this environment on old farmland. You have to put in some windbreaks, some protection, some nurse trees in order to grow the others. And if you spin that, just past this tree, it's hard to see it, but it's very large, and that's a wild hazel from Europe, the old filbert. There are modern hazelnuts that are very large. They've been bred by men, and those are the ones you buy as hazelnuts. But that's the ancient, wild European filbert or hazelnut. And I have a book that says that was the most useful tree to the European farmer for 20,000, 40,000, 60,000 years. People have gotten hazelnuts from it and long pole wood because it suckers, and you can remove some of those long poles, and if they're old, they're big enough to make something like what we call a 2x4. You can build a human house out of it. And when you remove a few poles, that allows the plant to see some light and send up a new straight long pole in those spaces. So the trees are pollarded, cut regularly but not completely, and some of them are 1,000 years old still in Europe and being pruned regularly and used. They're used for fences, they're used for building, they're used for charcoal, they're used for tool handles, chicken roosts, and all manner of things. There aren't many of them around. The nut is smaller than the commercial hazel. Most people aren't going to bother with it, but our ancestors, white people in Europe, for thousands of years have subsisted on those nuts, as well as many, many animals. There's a mossy cap oak on the right and a swamp white oak on the left. And these are some of the great oaks of the eastern forests of North America. And underneath those were bushes and shrubs. And down under all that vegetation were creatures that lived in the forest, including men that we call Indians. And these rain acorns here. And then just here on your right is a macadamia. That's Macadamia tetraphylla from New South Wales. And there's another carob in here, and there's a Chinese wisteria up this tree just there as a vine, and there's a Japanese wisteria up the other oak.